Yeah, that's really a quick introduction just now. Thank you so much, Ernest, for the quick introduction. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank the OG Expo team for pulling off this event. And also a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are around this universe. I'm Arthur. I'm representing MetaPack Group, originally from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia right now. And it is at 9:30 p.m. So just right nice as before sleeping hours. So yes, thank you so much as for being here. I guess I think each and every one of you are being here and also investing your time is to really be learning what Web3 and also blockchain is really has in store for us. And today, in fact, that what I'll be sharing, it's about the potential in the future of ASEAN region ecosystem in the Web3 space. Just I want to just to have an interaction just with the audience. So, wow, good morning. So we have a good morning. So who is in the Web3 space right now? Can I just have a show of hands? You can just type yes. Who is in the Web3 space? Just type yes. So at least then I know who am I speaking to. Awesome. It's like, hi, Julian. Hi, KL. Hi, Anna. Yeah, awesome, awesome. And who is using every day? Fantastic. And basically, who is passionate about Web3 and have always wanted to really go into this space, but just clueless as to how to go about. Can I have a show of hands as I say yes? Ben Gomez says me. Say, all right, awesome, awesome. All right, play to earn, move to earn. Absolutely, yeah. It's fun, right? Just to earn something by just doing something. Sleep to earn, absolutely. That would be the best, Dad. We'll just have a bit of interaction, so at least I know who am I speaking to. Then, absolutely. Brief to earn. Wow, wow, that's going to be a tough project. There, read to earn. Anna, you're clearly a reader. Then, anyway, thank you so much for the participation. So I guess let's just really keep it going. So with that being said, let me just really dive in. I'm just going to take as a win the next 1 minute to quickly introduce myself. I've always been in investment and a financial industry. So I used to represent one of the largest independent financial advisory organizations. I was managing close to about 25 million American dollars, representing some of the global fund houses like Franklin Templeton, BlackRock, Management Zurich Investment, and one of the biggest hedge fund companies based in Hong Kong, which is Sun Hung Kai. And of course, then I dabbled into alternative investment, and I raised approximately about 5 million from North America. And when I came back from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur, I was trading as most of the private bankers are in almost most of the banks, most of the primary banks as in Malaysia. And then I started off as doing my Web2 startup. I guess it's a very normal transition to go into the Web3. So I did as a whole digital startup. And my very recent, right before when I moved into Web3, I was running an investor relations business that were helping equity crowdfunding company and to raise as approximately close to about 8 million American dollars. So yes, I'm pretty much very well versed with the financial and also in investment. But again, no threat for any of you guys who still feel like the Web3, the blockchain, the token economy is a big jargon language. Trust me, everyone just goes through the process. So long that you staying hungry and staying foolish, I believe that definitely you're able to create or curate or build a project that bases on humanity and really impacting the society. So I'm just going to quickly, today my presentation, oh dear, I'm spending about 26 minutes already. I only have 26 minutes. So I'm just going to share the ecosystems in ASEAN and to dive into what exactly MetaPack Group does. And hopefully I would love to pick up any of your questions then. All right, is that all right? Okay, so let me just, all right, okay. Let's give me a thumbs up once you see my PDF. So at least then I know that you guys are seeing it on the screen, just in case that Are you guys seeing it on the screen right now? Okay. All right. You can see, but I can't see. Oh dear. What's going on? Is it still loading? Okay. Ah, okay. There you are then. So yeah, basically that's my LinkedIn QR code. So feel free, to share. And yeah, I mean, in the event that we don't have enough time, so it's like, I could also answer any of your questions, or I could really just jump on call sometime next time or next week with you, and to really just help you through. As what as Ernest mentioned earlier, we are a Web3 ecosystem builder. So let me just dive in into giving you a perspective of what ASEAN is it's all about in the event you are not ASEAN, or probably you're in ASEAN. Maybe some of these statistics are interesting. We're living in a very sweet spot, and I would say the ASEAN region is the gateways to Web3 ecosystem. There is a population of 655 million, which means it's double the size of United States. And 40% of the total population is under 30 years of age, which means we're living in a young population, tech savvy, and it's very robust, very vibrant ecosystem that's happening over here. And just the digital economy that we're experiencing it's almost close to 336 billion were achieved by year 2025, and it's estimated to achieve about 1 trillion by the years of 2030 itself. There are already now up to 50 unicorn startups in the entire Southeast Asia region. And with that being said, by 2030, we're expecting also 163 million solvent household to be really using the internet, which means that also will be a very natural transition into the blockchain and also the Web3. I mean, we're all living in a digital world, right? Very interestingly, found these statistics as well. Just right at the start of the pandemic, there's a 60 million new users that have joined the internet. And when I mean joining the internet, means they have made a purchase on the internet since the start of the pandemic. Can you believe that? And this number is still growing. And 94% of these users will stay actively of these digital services. And of course, with all that being said, in these 10 countries, it's a total of GDP of $2.5 trillion. So it's a very vibrant ecosystem. It's a very digitally educated and also highly literate population in here. Moving on, however, as great as it is of course, there are also always on the other flip side, which is the challenges. Connectivity still plays as a major issue in a lot of rural areas, and there's a lot of inconsistencies between connectivities in the remote areas. If we are talking about skills wise itself, there's also education systems which needs to stay more consistent and relevant across the entire member nations, and that's just to avoid the disparities of the potential income. For example, like a tech developers in Singapore, Malaysia, or Vietnam will probably even make more money than in Philippines or in Thailand. That's simply because of the skill sets that the talents have. And tech knowledge wise, which also there's a huge gap between these members, nations, just across ASEAN itself. And of course, in the total investments support over here, as to date, until June 2022, there's already a total of 30 billion that's invested worldwide, and there's only 1.45 billion that has been invested in an ASEAN region which is double the size of North America. And if you look at the statistics, it's only 0.3% as compared to Europe. It's about 4 to 5%. And of course, most of it of the projects that are highly invested are still in United States. And last but not least, it's the regional cooperation integration that where each country is still really working and functioning on a very silo manner. And I think one of the things our aspiration is to really see to develop a more open and integrated Southeast Asia digital economy. So yes, let's dive into what's really the uniqueness of ASEAN itself. As I mentioned earlier, I think one of the biggest uniquenesses of ASEAN is really 60% of the total population is unbanked. And with that being said, technologies such as blockchain will able to streamline this and to really help financial systems and support to be much more efficient, to be supporting this unbanked population. Now, 3.56% of the total population it's only in digital currency, and that means there's a huge room of opportunity to be supporting individuals, and we expect these numbers to increase as the time goes by as well. Law availability, it's a very friendly crypto law availability. We are seeing now a lot of the government regulators like Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore has really been taking action with the industry players and to really start regulating things to make it more friendly. And of course, when the regulators, policymakers make it more friendly, it will help entrepreneurs like us to be also building our projects efficiently. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the big thing about ASEAN, it's really the tech-savvy generation. It's a very low barriers, of course, as compared to the North American Europe. So really lower barrier entry, minimal costs to encourage more investment to go in here. Now, if you're looking at about also the entire Web3 map ecosystem, later I will be diving into respective regions on a specific country. If we are talking about Vietnam, are there any Vietnamese in the house? Make some noise. If there's any Vietnamese, I mean, you guys have really hardcore engineers, great engineering team over there, amazing talent, and I think honestly, Vietnam will truly be the next China, just in ASEAN itself. And of course, when you go over the other side, Philippines, I mean, we have seen most of the play to earn as NFT players, scholars are really from Philippines. They truly love entertainment, and we have seen how the spike of P2E games and ecosystems has escalated to a whole new level. And of course, if you go into Indonesia, I mean, Indonesia, it's such a huge country, a huge population, 800,000 startups on Web2, and imagine that we just take 1% of the total Web2, you already have like 80,000 of Web3 projects, right? And I just came back from Bali, and honestly, I think that Bali is a crypto haven. You get to see that Indonesia is just going to rise by leaps and bounds in the coming years' time. And of course, they are expected to be receiving some of the best funded blockchain platforms as well. So let me just dive in into individual respective country, just to really give you an inkling and also impressions of how each and every country fares when it comes to the Web3. Now, when they talk about Indonesia, Indonesian in the house, please yes, I'll make some noise, so at least we know some Indonesian. Let's rally for them. So if it's Indonesia itself, it's a huge population, and to me, I recognize them as the crypto investment outstripping public equities. What does it mean by that? If you look at the years of 2021, more than 6.5 million populations have traded as crypto, versus only 2.2 million have invested in equities, which means that brings a total of $25 billion as a transaction as compared to 4.4 billion in the previous year, 2020, right at the start of the pandemic. And that's a whooping of 470% growth. And can you imagine these numbers will start escalating as the number goes by? Now, they are truly the world's fourth largest population. And of course, with that being said, they are also the largest government support enterprise with an estimation of unbanked population of almost close to 70%. And imagine what Web3 and blockchain technology itself were able to bring values immensely to this country. They have also ignited some of their laws too. One of it is it's the Commodity Futures Exchange Supervisory Board, and that oversees the crypto-related issues, provides legal frameworks for licensing. And as to date, Indonesians were able to legally own and trade a total of 229 cryptocurrencies. In fact, they are the number one in ASEAN for that total number of cryptocurrencies. Now, one of the leading exchange as Indodex, they already have more than 4.7 million. Now let's go into the other side, Philippines. Any Filipinos, please just give a shout out over here. Now, Philippines, I recognize them as massive user-driven growth itself. And of course, we all know that YGG was given birth from Philippines itself. And of course, since the pandemic as it became a global phenomenon, and as to date, YGG is housing more than 1,500 of NFT game guilds, and also the support as in-game scholarships and providing the entire ecosystem, becoming the world's largest as a NFT gaming guild. Now, 40%, some of you guys might not know, but 40% of the total X Infinity players hail from Philippines and not Vietnam itself. And then, of course, I'll bring you, to Thailand. Then Thailand is they really started off as really one of the early adopters as in Web3 and also blockchain. I remember when I first invested in Ethereum, in the year 2017, I was really invited to conferences, events in Thailand. But they being a little bit of a late mover, and right now to a front runner. And by just last year itself, we're actually seeing that Thailand is the first blockchain unicorn was given birth, and they sold close to about $535 million to Siam's commercial bank. And with that joined together with one of the logistics provider. Also, Thailand also had their first ever unicorn, which is Flash Express, and they minted as $1 billion valuation. And just last year itself, they already welcomed almost 2 unicorns, and definitely is a very vibrant and certainly an exciting market for us to look to as well. And last but not least, one of my favorite countries that I always say, I think Vietnam is I love Vietnam so much because the Vietnamese are just so hardworking and so enterprising, as I have to admit. I mean, ASEAN generally is, but probably maybe I have to say the Vietnamese is a little bit more hardworking. I mean, I could be biased, but please don't quote me. But however, just give you really some interesting facts about Vietnam. It's really they are, of course, we all know about X Infinity was given birth over there, and they have brought in a massive 3.7 billion in the total amount of NFT transactions. And of course, due to that reason, it has also created a huge phenomenon itself. Now, through the success of Sky Mavis, who is a developer of X Infinity, there were really 2 outcomes that were achieved out of it there. Number one is to really drive the growth of Vietnam's local NFT gaming ecosystem and truly brought in new influxes of money into that country itself. Now, these results also last year itself, Cypher has raised a total of 6.8 million American dollars in the seed fundraising. Now, if you're talking about the acceptance of blockchain and also crypto assets, Vietnam is actually ranked number 1 right now in terms of the overall adoption, and they're also the 5th in the world from these 3 main indicators: on-chain value received, and on-chain retail value received, and also the P2P exchange trade volume at the same time. So really kudos to Vietnam, and I think Vietnam has a huge potential to really be a leading market player in this space right now. So last but not least, our end with Singapore. Of course, they are truly the financial hubs of Asia, the pillar that we all go to, the houses of VCs. When we want to raise money, we certainly go to Singapore, or probably to incorporate the company over there. And of course, Monetary Authority Singapore right now have also issued a guide to digital token offering since the year of 2017. And in the year of 2021, Payment Service Act has been launched. And as to date right now, there's almost close to about 600 over blockchain-based projects across ASEAN, and 400 is based in Singapore. So I guess we all know where we want to raise the money from, right? Yeah. So that really gives you a snapshot of every single country in ASEAN, and these are really some of the leading markets in Web3. Now, you probably ask I'm a Malaysian. Where's Malaysia? So I guess Malaysia is neither here, neither there. I couldn't really give much. I think our regulators and policy makers are still deciding what to do in Malaysia. So possibly maybe that's where we industry leaders are trying to really create an opportunity in Malaysia and try to bring immense values to ASEAN itself. Yeah, and hence right now at this point in time we are working closely together some of the regulators. Yeah, so I'm just going to really jump in. So the question is where is the road ahead for ASEAN? By looking at some of the statistics here and some of my findings, the market growth is expected to grow at 43.7 compounded annual growth rate in the next years to come. There will be a rising demand from the banking, financial services, healthcare, it's a big thing. So, of course, what we have experienced from the pandemic, and also insurance sectors that are really using blockchain technology. I would like to add on one more: agriculture. I think food traceability becomes such a big thing when it comes to blockchain technology. There's 600 blockchain-based projects, and this number is expected to increase and grow by 3x in the next 5 years. Even the average ticket size of a Web3 project will also be increasing from 500,000 to 1.25 million by the year 2025. And of course, with that being said, investors and venture capitalists will do a more stringent and a more thorough due diligence process. And of course, when we talk about this space as a Web3, we are in a wild, wild west. And of course, regulations will be the big thing. And hence, there will be a tighter regulation by the policymakers that's to really streamline clearer guidelines, and which, of course, that could really present great opportunities for us. So guys, that's pretty much giving a snapshot as what ASEAN is, and I'll spend the next 10 minutes to dive in as what we do, and so you guys have a better relationship in understanding what we do and how we could also add value to you guys. Ernest just gave us a brief introduction, but yes, our vision is truly accelerating the world's adoption to Web3 as an ecosystem. We want to build an ecosystem where we can truly waking up every day and impact someone positively. I think essentially as an entrepreneur, and here's my message to everybody, we should be building projects in the Web3 space on in blockchain for humanity and also for the livelihood of people. With that, if that will be the main priority, trust me, profitability will come in naturally. So we have our 4 pillars: the venture, which is the mother of all pillars. We help support and also invest in highly scalable and potential projects, primarily just in ASEAN region. Our investment mandate is 70% into projects that we are solving problems, real problems, and 20-30% is to be investing into like GameFi and SocialFi. Ideally, we're also looking at projects that have already achieved revenue and that is sustainable for the business. We also have MetaPack Connect, where we bring community coming together through networking event, and through that human touch and the human connection. We truly believe that where we were able to encourage more individuals who have the aspiration to go into the Web3, but just do not know how to start or how to ignite the engine. And we believe that through that human touch and human connection, we believe that that's how we can accelerate their involvement in the Web3 space. And then we have the MetaPack Guild at the same time. Right now, apart from just us investing, we also provide marketing and also branding services to projects, Web3 projects that are ready to take off. So at any point in time, if you run a GameFi or run a SocialFi, do speak to us because we can help you to launch your business as well and to really go to market. And last but not least, it's our MetaPack Edu. When we launch our token, and that's where we want to help to incentivize the community. When you contribute your knowledge, your insights, and also your information, you are able to own tokens. And we're truly resonating the whole understanding of Web3. So we are also producing and launching our very own reality show too. And I guess that's something might be quite exciting for you guys. So it's called the Willport, and I guess somebody will be flashing in the chat box you go to visit venture.metapack.io, and that's where you were able to submit for the first ever Web3 centric reality show. So think of Dragon's Den and think of Shark Tank, but we are doing that as well. So we are in the partnership with AirAsia right now and some of the conglomerate companies. I can't disclose right now, but this is going to be a panel of whales, and we are looking for the next big thing. But we put you into a reality show, which means you also have to be camera ready as well. Well, we welcome some of the strategic partnerships to be on board with us into Willport, and some of the key reasons why to be in partnership with us that where you are able to establish strategic partnership with the project firsthand. You're able to go in early stage of investment opportunities. In the event if you are running a company or an establishment that where provide tech infrastructure or services that can support Web3 projects, do speak to me as well. You're able to cross-sell to all these companies at the early stage companies that where they're ready to grow. And yeah, who knows, maybe 1% of them will become a unicorn. There will be networking opportunities with the venture capitalists, with the high net worth individuals and entrepreneurs as well. And also, most importantly, you really get affiliated with all the Web3 investors community around this region itself, ASEAN. And what other better ways to do it through a reality show that where we'll be streaming on our website as well as Asia platforms at the same time, that where you will get a strong brand and also a personal visibility positioning across Southeast Asia region. So yes, we are looking for projects for you to submit. We're also looking for partnership as well. So come and speak to us. Yeah. And of course, anybody wants to fund too, then you own our token as well. And this is some of the proposed guest judges that we're also inviting as well, the fathers and founders of Binance, and some of the VCs, and also together with the entrepreneurs too. Yeah. Ernest, I have 5 more minutes to go, right?
I think so. I couldn't see the timer.
All right, I got 5 more minutes. I don't know. You suddenly just pop up, so yes, you magically just pop up. Yeah, no worries. I got 4 more
I mean, no worries. I mean, I'm really impressed with your presentation and your speech.
Oh, okay, yeah. And we're also inviting some of the celebrity entrepreneurs on board with us who dabbles into these spaces as well. Because Asia is being one of our partners. So of course, we're going to get Tony Fernandez to be one of our wheels. So God knows how many Bitcoins he has. So you never know. Maybe he might be investing as well. And some of all these social media followers that have strong followings on social media at the same time. Yes, and so apart from all that we're doing, we also, as an ecosystem builder, we believe in creating a sustainable business model as well. And it only makes sense for us to become an ecosystem builder, for us to be helping our companies to launch the business in the Web3 space. So we have this venture market, which is not one of our key 4 pillars, but we help companies that are ready to take off and go to market. And it goes as simple as we provide services like website development, provide SEO, SEM, Discord development to create the framework for you, content marketing. We also have Discord moderators, recruitment as well, where you could use our moderator to be deployed into your projects. So you need not to waste too much time training, grooming, and then instilling, building up moderators, because that really takes time. And we know that because it took us 1 year, guys, for us to get these numbers of moderators. And we spend hours day and night just to really talk to them. So honestly, guys, this is an express way for you. Come and speak to us because we know the pain and also the struggle every entrepreneur goes through. Project management tool. We put you on a virtual showcase. Think of like a Bloomberg, a TV, and we ask smart questions and to make every CEO to be smarter. Some CEOs were not able to dissect complex business ideas. We make things simple for you because why? Investor will only be investing in your project when you're able to articulate your project in an easy manner. And of course, we have that reality show that, if you're camera ready, you're ready to be showing what you got to the world, then join the Whale Pod. So a little bit about our fun, since I'm given I have the last 2 minutes. So yes, we are launching our own venture DAO. So this will be in the venture part itself. So if there are any investors in the room right now, happy to chat with you, happy to connect with you. We are raising a total of 6 M's at the initial stage. That will be a soft cap right up to 10 million itself. But our seed rounds will be a 1 million. And we will be expecting that there will be subsequent funds to be raised for the additional pillars. The target returns that will be 3x within the investment time horizon. Although we can be a little bit more ambitious in that, but let's not overpromise. We will be investing in the average ticket size between 50 to 250,000 in early stage companies. But as I mentioned earlier, we would rather want to invest in companies that have revenue and 20-30% in SocialFi and GameFi. our investment focus in the ASEAN region itself, and hence it's like projects that come through as like a Willport, and also of course as 70% is like on the investment that have sustainable business model itself. The investment is like a horizon. It's not going to be beyond 5 years, so very likely to be shorter. But again, as I mentioned, it might be a subsequent fund. Very straightforward. Basically, to any of the investors here, we will be practicing a standard 20 and also 2 model. Means is that we take a 20% of the total profits, and also 2% of the total asset under management fees just to support our OPEX fees. So yes, last but not least is guys. I don't know. The more once I turned in and I saw I moved to Asia, more opportunities. That's right. Asia is it's the place to be in right now. So what we are looking for, strategic partners is for Willport. So yes, be it whether you are a project or be it whether you are a company that will want to come in to establish partnership, or be it whether you are a VC, I would love to really connect with you. I'm gonna flash my QR code is on Telegram. So get ready your smartphone so you are able to flash as a QR code, and I would love to chat with you. We are looking for strategic investors for our venture down fund. So if you're an investor, also a community is an investor, or even as a retail investor, feel free to speak to us, and I would love to connect with you as well. We are looking for board advisors and also mentors, and of course Web3 projects as in the capital raising stage. So if you are going through a capital raising stage, any of you guys, speak to us. We will help you, to support in the investor relations and the PR and the financial, and set up whatever that you need, be whether from your white paper, your blockchain developments, and all that. And last but not least is the Web3 games in the go-to-market. If you are Web3, we have our Meta Pack Guild, where we'll be supporting in the events activation. We will help you to deploy some moderators, set up your Discord as a platform, and also ready for you to fly to the moon. So this is it. That's right, exactly 9:59 p.m. So here it is. Yeah, took up a bit of a time. I hope I didn't bore you a presentation. If you guys learned something right from my presentation from a half an hour, could you just give me a shout out? Just type yes. So at least I know that whatever I was speaking makes some sense for you guys then.
Hi, Arthur. I'm back again.
Right, I saw yours. Yeah, hi, Ernest. Yes.
Yeah, I was back then, and right now I'm right back again. I think thanks so much for the speech. It's a very awesome presentation. I mean, I did actually learn a thing or two. I do agree that Vietnam is going to be the next powerhouse. I mean, hopefully. I mean, in the crypto industry, due to the high adoption rate for cryptocurrencies.
Are you
Right up,
Vietnamese?
I think. No, I'm in Singapore. I'm a Singaporean, pure
you're
Singaporean.
Singaporean.
Yeah.
That's where all the VCs are. you're in a very good country.
I think each country do have their own powerhouse of VCs. Not too sure how many VCs are there in Singapore, but I think Singapore itself is a country whereby a lot of business opportunities does happen. A lot of overseas business owner, they actually like to do I do not know why, but they like to do deals and business with Singaporeans. Really, I think I do have I think I do have a time for a quick question. One question actually. This is quite I think it catches me the most. Why do you think Indonesia will receive more of the bigger projects as opposed to other bigger regions in ASEAN like Singapore or Malaysia?
So I guess well, I can answer that as since I just came back from Bali, we had a coin fest over there, and I think Silicon Bali, it's there's a group of people want to materialize Silicon Valley is into reality, and after seeing the successes of CoinFest, I think they have done a tremendous job. Now, I think by just looking at how the government initiative and really supporting projects there, Jakarta, of course, is a hub, and that's where all the VCs are. But if we look at how Web2 has grown to become what it is, first, we are talking a population of 266 million population. It's the fourth largest, and housing 800,000 startups there. And by just taking 1%, that it's already almost close to 80,000 itself. Now, I think when we talk about Indonesia itself, unbanked population is it's the largest. 66% of the total population is still unbanked. And we know one thing, one of the greatest things that blockchain is we're really able to eradicate and to able to support it's the unbanked population. The bigger the adversity, the bigger blockchain is that we're able to solve that. And I think because of some of the very interesting adversities that Indonesia has, that will really give us a lot of room of opportunities for us entrepreneurs, ASEAN, or anyone, and of course the local Indonesians as well, to really be building great project to be impacting the livelihood of people.
Nice, thanks. Next up we have this question. Will you strengthen the cooperation with OG and their partners by hiring people from their platform?
Well, most definitely. I think we're in a Web3 space, right? And I think Web3 is it's really no man is an island. The one thing is what I really love about really about this whole entire community is the support from each and every community. It's just so vibrant, it's so selfless. And I think a strategic partnership is with OG, and also being a household brand names in ASEAN, we're definitely able to accelerate and escalate the progression of any company or any business. So yeah, so we're really looking forward to really jump on board and see how we can establish this real strategic partnership. And of course, let alone we are an ecosystem builder. So more the reason we should be jumping on board.
Thanks for answering that. Yeah, next, I mean, there's I think they want to know more about MetaPack. What do you think MetaPack can do to help bridge smaller projects?
So as I mentioned just now, I think that we have a number of pillars, but I think essentially one of the really main pillar that we can really support, I mean, everybody needs funding for sure. But I think before it goes to funding, I think more importantly is it's whether you have a product market fit, whether it's the project that you're building really able to entice investors. And with our market services that we have, the venture market, as I was mentioning earlier on, I think this part itself, we go back to ground zero. We go back to basic, that where every project needs a website, you need an SEO, and then after that you need a virtual showcase, how to entice investors. And I think one of our core expertise is we understand the psychology and also the thoughts, the thinkings of investor, and we could help you to guide you through for you to succeed in your capital raising, and also to find a product market fit, and to really build a product that is inspiring community, and to build a product that impacting the livelihood of individuals. And I think with that being said, I think with this number of services, I think that will be sufficient. But if you believe that you have all this in place, join our reality show. It's going to be exciting. The only difference is you might need to fly down to Kuala Lumpur if you're selected.
Thank you. Next question. I mean, yeah, we from Michael, we want to see OG is Realport. Will we see OG there?
Why not? If OG is ready to say yes, then sure. We would love to be on board. But then again, I think my question is there any reason why OG shouldn't be appearing in Realport?
That question is back to you, Michael. So I think it's whether Joey and Java will say yes to it. So
yes, Joey and Java, yeah. The double J is there, yeah. Is there any reason why that you guys shouldn't be?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah,
So
yes.
I think I have one last question for me myself. I mean, I do agree that Vietnam and Indonesia is the next emerging markets in cryptocurrency. Other than these two countries in ASEAN, do you think like which country is the next that project should actually might focus on in terms of penetrating?
I think Thailand is it's definitely a good as a front runner. I think Thailand is really now accelerating. It's moving from a third gear to fourth gear, and I think we're going to see really some interesting projects of really buildings in Thailand. Like one of my very good mate is it's also working in exchange, and I know it's gaining a massive traction. I think the adoption is in in NFT trading as well in this token economy trading. I think it's also picking up at the same time. So I think Thailand will be a very vibrant ecosystem. And of course, Philippines will always be Philippines. I think when it comes to Philippines, it's always going to be entertainment. We didn't see a really great traction in the Web2 space, but I think in Philippines, in the Web3, I think it has just shot up to a whole new level. And I think with the way how I see it is that the play to earn game will build something more sustainable. We all know that the play to earn right now is probably not quite sustainable, but I really believe that it will evolve something to become more sustainable. And the moment once is that when that market has been somebody cracked the code in that market, I truly believe that Philippines potentially is going to be the market leader when it comes to play to earn, GameFi and SocialFi at the same time.
Thank you for answering that. I think from what I understand, speaking to some of my friends and project owners, Philippines, they are trying to build a new crypto hub there in Asia. So if it's successful, I think Philippines is going to be one of the first country to actually have a crypto hub. Hopefully
Nice.
the regulation is not that strict.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I mean, I think this is also one of my takeaway. I mean, it's still so fresh as I just came back from Bali. I mean, guys, we are all in the Web3. For those who are in the Web3, right? I think really just go and experience Bali. I think Bali, it's one of a place that now I can speak with conviction. I mean, I've been hearing about Silicon Valley, but I truly believe there's something about Bali that you're just able to open up. I mean, the community is just so selfless. I'm just going to just partake something very interesting experience to all of you guys. It was one of those evening I jumped on on the Grab bike, and I was speaking to this rider. This rider was asking me, "Oh, why are you here?" And says, "Well, I put on the judgmental hat. I mean, please don't kill me, guys. I mean, what would you know about blockchain?" So I said, "Oh, I'm here for crypto event blockchain." And I asked him, "Have you heard about it?" And he said, "Yes. Oh, I heard about that, but I just do not know what it is." And then I had a conversation with him for 20 minutes. Do you know, Ernest, that 20 minutes is of the entire conversation? All he was asking is, how can blockchain impact my livelihood? He knows about the fundamentals of blockchain, but how can blockchain be impacting humankind? And how can blockchain be impacting my life positively? How can it make my life to be more interesting? And I guess that's something that I would like to share this personal message to everybody. I really want to emphasize, build your project with humanity. Build your project to impact the society and the community. And trust me, profitability will comes into you. Because I think in this world today, we're living in such a very, very interesting time of life. There's so many adversities there. There's so much of hatred. There's so much of struggles. And we are here to make a change. And we are given that one opportunity because this is Web3. We are given that opportunity to make an impact in people's life.
Thank you so much, Arthur. Thank you. Yeah, so Arthur, there are a few other questions that are under the Q&A. Help them, help me, help everyone answer those questions. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure hearing your speech. Thank you, Arthur.
Thank you so much, Ernest, and thank you so much, OG team, once again. And thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me. Thank you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. As you guys heard, that's the end of Arthur's speech. So much enthusiasm from that guy in this industry. Yeah. So kudos to those blockchain developers. Up next, we have a speaker, a man with many skills and many roles. Founder of Crypto Executives Community, that is the largest in the crypto space. Co-founder of EWA, that is middle layer for all blockchains that solve interoperability issues and open luminous opportunities for operations between different chains. Cross-chain DApps development, access management, and many more. He's also the founder of Adult Fund in Dubai, which is a community-driven fund for crypto projects. So let me welcome Faraj. Today, he will be speaking about cross-chain future, security, and importancy. Faraj, please.